Good morning, yogis. So we just had our yoga class for hunger, hope, and healing. So in the first practice today, we were looking at the Ujjayi breath as an adaptogen. Adaptogens are herbs in the environment that we can take, like ashwagandha, holy basil, which is also called tulsi. And an adaptogen is something that nourishes your adrenal system, whether you need to have a little bit more energy or to have a little more grounding. An adaptogen is called adaptogen because it can raise you up. It can also bring you back down to grounding. So in this class, I'm teaching about Ujjayi breathing as an adaptogen. I'm also going to talk with the students, and you'll see this as you take the class, about moving back in and down. How can we come back to ourselves, come into ourselves, and move down where we are more grounded? Then they'll hear me talk with them about being able to push something away that is not useful in your life right now. Most of us have the feeling that we're pushing through our life. We're just kind of pushing through the day. But I'm going to ask you to push away that which is actually burdening you so that you can remember that which you want to reach for, what you want to bring into your life, what you want to call in a sense of like what you're longing for, right? In this practice, we'll also use some side bends and some twisting poses so that you can unwrap some of the tension, resolve some of the tension in the neck, the shoulders, the intercostal muscles. Your primary breathing muscle is your diaphragm, but many of us, when we're under chronic stress or tension, we're trying to breathe with the scalenes or with the ribs primarily. And our primary breathing muscle is the diaphragm, so we want to go there. Okay, so as we step into the class now, as we transition into that, please know that you can ask me any questions you have in the comments below a video. I'd be glad to be of help to you. And as always, it's helpful if you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if the video is helpful to you. That does give me feedback about your experience. Without further ado, let's get into today's practice on Ujjayi breathing. Enjoy your experience. Okay, good morning. Welcome for practice. I'd like to focus on a practice that can help to unwind the tension in the brain and body by using some simple breathing and postural techniques that let us kind of drop inside. You may also see guest students in the classroom today. This is Panda Kitty, and this is her mom, Nandita. And you may also see her father and her sister wandering around in here. So it might be yoga with cats today. There goes Panda. Okay, so please take a comfortable seat. And rest your hands in your lap and let your eyes close. And just start with a comfortable basic seat, whether you're sitting on the front edge of a chair or on the floor on your yoga blanket. Maybe you're on the front edge of your ottoman, whatever you need to be doing. Allow your eyes to close. And then as you're sitting, and hopefully sitting upright, just come a little bit into the back hemisphere of your body. Not that we're slouching, we're not leaning back, but try to sense the back hemisphere of your body as a place of resting back versus pushing forward. And now begin to notice the breath and invite your breath to drop back and down versus being like up and front. So your breath is going to tell your brain and body that right now you're just taking refuge in the present moment. We're not pushing life forward. We're not pushing something up. We're going to drop back, down, and in. And as you allow the breath to come into the abdomen, what it really means is reduce or evaporate the tension of the low belly. And we may not know that we're holding tension there until we bring our awareness to it. Let's see if you can release the lower abdomen to allow the breath to come down and in. And then see if you might include in your inhale your lower back, the sides of your waist, and the back of your ribs. It might even help to put your hands at your back ribs and just sense, is your inhale able to drop down into the pelvis, into your lower belly, then into your lower back and into your back ribs? And then, of course, we exhale from the front of the abdomen. It's like you're zipping up the exhale from the pubic bone up towards your solar plexus. Just do that for about 3 more breath cycles. Pay particular attention to being back, down, and in yourself. And as you complete the next exhale, then raise your hands to your heart. Appreciate yourself for making the time to come to a yoga practice or to choose a yoga practice right now versus choosing something else that might be less self-nurturing or more self-dissipating or self-sabotaging. And you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. And what we're going to do today is try to use the elegant form, like I sometimes call it the silky or subtle form of Ujjayi breathing. So let's first learn it, like relearn it if some of you already know it, but learn it, relearn it as a more dynamic breath. And then we're going to be honing it down to be its more and more subtle form. Okay, so when I teach Ujjayi breath, I like to suggest that there is a naturalness to it insofar as we've all yawned before, and we've all felt the back of the throat open up during a yawn. And we've all heard the sound of a yawn when it's in that little whisper mode. So if you, on purpose, yawn like this, and the back of the throat opens there, in Ujjayi breathing, we're using that opening at the back of the throat, even though the lips are closed. We're breathing through the nose. But that opening at the back of the throat, it's like a hollow place. And when the breath passes through there, it's like the wind inside of a cave or inside the trees or like in Arches National Park. So it'll have a whispering quality to it. So let's inhale, yawn on purpose. We're going to keep the back of the throat open. We'll close the lips and we'll exhale as if we're yawning out through the nose, but not like we're trying to hide a yawn, like you feel socially awkward about it. So let's go like this. Inhale. Close the lips. Exhale through the nose, keeping the back of your throat open. Good, and do that again. You can close your eyes if you want to. Inhale, yawn with the open mouth. Close your lips. Exhale through the nose without changing the shape of the throat. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, open the mouth for a yawn. Exhale through the nose. So now notice just how that feels for 3 breath cycles like that. The sound of the breath ought to be captivating to the inner ear, so we have a focal point that's internal. Now we were exaggerating opening the mouth like that for the yawn, for the inhale, and then you kept that during the exhale, so you might have had an embouchure like this. But when we do Ujjayi breathing, we actually can relax the mouth. You can relax the lower jaw down away from the upper jaw, but it's not like it has to stay that open. It's that you learn how to have the back of the throat have that kind of hollow spot. And the breath should feel more like you're breathing through the back and lower part of your throat, less like you're breathing in your sinuses. Even though the air is coming in through the nose, it'll feel like the breath is coming in through this part of the throat right here. So go ahead and close your eyes and we'll take this practice slowly internally. What you can do is lift the crown of your skull, lift the base of your skull, slide your head just slightly back. So when you do that, there's gonna start to be a feeling of tone at the front of your neck muscles. And then place the tip of the tongue behind the top 2 teeth. So the base of the tongue at the back of your mouth goes down. And in that hollow place, breathe in through the nose and listen for the whispering sound. And then exhale out through the nose, keeping the throat open, listening for the whispering sound. It's in the back hollow of the throat, kind of low down. Now, as you start to sense that breath, perhaps becoming more intimate to you, let's make it smooth. A little pause at the top of the inhale. Make it smooth with a little pause at the bottom of your exhale. The Ujjayi breath can regulate your vagal tone. It becomes a really helpful focusing tool for the mind. It works like an adaptogen, reducing stress where needed, raising energy where needed. It nourishes your stress response team. Now, keeping this flowing, the breath as it is, wrap your right arm around behind the small of your back and tip your left ear towards your left shoulder without any change in the sound of the Ujjayi breath. Bring your chin in towards your right collarbone, keeping the Ujjayi breath consistent. And then exhale, float your head up to center, release your right arm. Again, keep the breath consistent. Wrap your left arm around behind. Exhale, tip your right ear towards your right shoulder. And keeping the Ujjayi breath stable and consistent means that we're not overexcited about different sensations in the body. We're not moving into a judgment or narrative about the sensation. We're just staying right there, intimate with sensation itself. And exhale, raise your head back up to center, release your left arm. You might place both hands in your lap for a moment. Relax the Ujjayi breath so you can sense what happens after just a very short practice, what happens to your mind. Now we're going to take the left hand and put the back of your left hand around the outside of your right knee. Just by doing that, you're going to be changing the shape of your rib cage. Okay, and we are going to use a side bend, and we're going to open up the breathing muscles that can tend to become restricted when we're under stress. So take the back of the left hand around the outside of your right thigh. Place your right hand on your left hand. Side bend to your left. Come into the Ujjayi breath. As you exhale, bring your chin in towards your right collarbone. As you inhale, breathe into the right hemisphere of the body. Imagine that you're inflating the right side waist, the right rib cage, your right lung from the inside. One more in-breath, please. And then exhale, raise yourself up to center, keeping the Ujjayi consistent. Bring the back of your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Place your left hand on your right. Side bend to your right. Bring your chin towards your left collarbone. And staying with the Ujjayi breath, listen for the inhale, the silence of the inhale pause, the exhale, and the silence of the exhale pause. And then exhale, raise yourself back up to center. Now, when we come back to sitting, let's make sure that you're sitting with the knees out a little bit. So whether you're on the floor, sitting cross-legged, you're on the front of a chair, for those of you who are doing that, take the knees out wide. Now bring that left hand across to hold the outside of your right thigh or your right knee. Walk the right hand behind you, twist to your right, and look over your right shoulder. Now, if you bring the Ujjayi breath with you, I want you to sense how the inhale can support the pelvis, your lower back, and then into your back ribs. Before the in-breath rises up to the heart, bring it into the pelvis, lower back, the back of your ribs, the sides of your ribs, and then up into the heart. Do one more in-breath like that. Really, often people think of the exhale during twisting, but I'm asking you to focus on the inhalation. An expansive inhale during a twist increases your lung capacity, maintains an evenness versus the stress response, and teaches us then how, as we exhale to come back to center, there can be the fullness of the breath without striving. Bring your right hand across to the outside of your left knee. Walk your left hand around behind you. Twist to your left. And again, focus the breath on meeting you in the pelvis, and then the lower back, and then the back waist and the side ribs. So the breath is something that you can kind of paint into the inner body. Do one more inhale. And when you exhale, stay with the Ujjayi breath, come around to face forward, and notice the next Ujjayi inhale. It might be more spacious or feel more expansive, more easily from the inside. And allow yourself to exhale, relax the Ujjayi breath. And again, just take notice of what is the quality of your mind. And listen for any little glimmer of the stress response being reduced and mental clarity or kindness coming forward. We're going to do something a little bit more dynamic than that. And this is going to include a kind of emotional gesture. So we're going to be pushing forward during an exhale. We'll round the spine as we do that. And then on the inhale, we're going to be pulling in like this. And when you pull in, I'm going to ask you to open the chest, heart, and throat. Okay? And when you exhale, you're pushing forward. You can imagine what you're pushing away. When you exhale, what you're drawing in. And the spine is going to go through extension and flexion. So this kind of movement This undulation of the spine is further going to support your vagal tone along with the Ujjayi breath. So we're like doubling medicine here. Okay, so with the exhale, Ujjayi exhale, push forward, round your spine. Ujjayi inhale, pull in, raise your heart. Ujjayi exhale, push forward. Ujjayi inhale, draw in, raise up, open your heart and your throat. Exhale, as you push forward, think of that which you're resisting or pushing away. As you pull in, that which you're longing for. Exhale again at your own pace, round your spine. Inhale again, open the chest, heart, and throat. And exhale one more time, press forward. Inhale one more time, reach in and up. And then exhale, rest your hand in your lap for a moment. Relax the Ujjayi breath. Notice that you've raised a little bit more energy. Your body and mind might feel a little bit more alert, maybe a little bit optimistic. Now bring the left hand across to the outside of your right knee again, and go ahead and hold your knee so the fingers point down. Okay, twist to your right, but before you turn your head, take notice that we're going to twist to the right, and then we're going to have a little lean. So we're going to lean up and open the chest, the heart, and the throat. And so I want your seat to be stable, and that movement up is like for confidence and optimism. It's really important that we know how to drop back, down, and in, but also that we know how to rise up versus pushing our life forward. That's very exhausting. So we push away that which is like burdening us, and we learn how to make space here. Now we want to be able to have that sort of upward, optimistic feeling for ourselves. So bring the left hand across to your right thigh. Walk your right hand around behind you. Come into your twist. Stabilize your sitting bone. And with your Ujjayi inhale, now raise up with your heart. Start opening your throat. Exhale, bring your spine to neutral. Bring your head to neutral. Inhale, raise up so the breath still includes the pelvis, the sides of your waist, up into the heart, the collarbones. And exhale, make your spine neutral. Bring your head to neutral. Twice more. Inhale to raise up. Exhale to neutral spine. And inhale to raise up. Exhale to your neutral spine, keeping your pelvis centered. Stay with the Ujjayi breath as you rotate to center. Exhale while we're centered. Try to sense the strength of the inner belly for your exhale. With the next inhale, can you broaden the back of your body more so than before? Now bring your right hand across as you exhale. Walk your left hand behind. In the twist, stabilize your sitting bones. Inhale to pull up. Exhale, level your spine to neutral, level your head. Inhale, draw the breath from the pelvis, upward to the side ribs, up to your heart. Open your throat. Exhale to neutral. Twice more, please. Last one. And then inhale around to center. Use the Ujjayi exhale to sense the strength of the inner belly. And your Ujjayi inhale to sense the expansiveness you can create from the inside. And then exhale, relax the breath, relax the Ujjayi sound, and see if you can drop back, down, and in. Have you made a place inside where you know how to come home to yourself? Notice if it's possible that your mind feels like naturally meditative. And as we drop back, down, and in, if you do find a place of center, that is the place from where you can have a little glance out over your life or your, let's say, your kingdom. So you're sitting in the castle of yourself and you can glance around to see what in your daily life today do you want to say yes to? And what, if anything, do you need to let go of? Mental, physical, emotional. And see if you might know those kind of yeses or commitments and the no's or the surrenders. See if you might know those from a place of equanimity. And with appreciation for your own inner wisdom, raise your hands to your heart. And as you bow your head to your heart, sense that like the wisest part of you is making a commitment to support the parts of you that come into behavior. So the behavioral updates that you want to create, let the wisest part of you give support to that today. It's kind of like you're saying, I'm here for you. And then you can release your hands, open your eyes. Thank you for sharing this practice. Thank you again. So before you go from the practice and get into your day, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and let me know if you have questions or comments down below the video.